Hi there. We are on day 3 of our 92 day through the New Testament in the order that things actually happen. So, you can see we're on day 1 and day 2. Let's move this a little bit. Okay. All right. John the Baptist, we talked about that yesterday. I'm kind of keeping a record here. Okay. In day 2, John the Baptist, the birth, shepherds, right? Angels singing. Okay. And today we'll be going through on day 3. What we'll be doing Matthew 2 and Luke. Wait a minute. Get out of here. This is an active page. It's kind of crazy. So, Matthew 2 and Luke and the rest of Luke chapter 2, right? 39 through 52. So let's jump over here. Matthew 2, right? Is that right? Matthew 2 and Luke 2:39. Okay. So, let's do this. Today's the visit of the wise men. Not 3 men, they were just wise men, right? Now, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, the wise men from the east, right? Or magi, came to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we saw his star when it rose, and had come to worship him. When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. All Jerusalem with him. Wow. And assembling all chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where this Christ was to be born. They told him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it is written by the prophet Isaiah, right? And you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for from you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel. Right. Then Herod summoned the wise men secretly and ascertained from them what time the star had appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word that I too may come and worship him. Right. After listening to the king, they went on their way, and behold, the star they had seen when it rose went before them until it came to rest over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they fell down and worshipped him. Then, opening their treasures, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Right? And being warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed to their own country by another way. Right. Now, this gold was God ordained, right? Because this would help them survive while they went to Egypt. Now when they had departed, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, Rise, take the child and his mother, and flee to Egypt, and remain there until I tell you. For Herod is about to search for the child to destroy him. And he rose, took the child and his mother by night, and departed to Egypt, and remained there until the death of Herod. That was to fulfill what the Lord had spoken by the prophet, Out of Egypt I called my son. Right. And this is one of the saddest parts in the whole New Testament to me. It's just, I can't even imagine. Then Herod, when he saw that he'd been tricked by the wise men, became furious, and he sent and killed all the male children in Bethlehem, in all that region, who were 2 years old or under, according to the time that he had ascertained from the wise men. Then was fulfilled what was spoken by the prophet Jeremiah. A voice was heard in Ramah, weeping in loud lamentation, Rachel weeping for her children. She refused to be comforted because they are no more. Right? Every child in the city under 2 was butchered by this horrible, evil king. Right? Right? They did that before, didn't they? Right? Pharaoh did it in Egypt when there was more than he could handle. Right? More than he could handle, so they gotta kill a bunch of them so they can keep control. Right? Kind of trying that now, aren't they? Different ways. They still do it. Right? Okay, they returned to Nazareth. But when Herod died, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Rise, take your child and his mother, go to the land of Israel. for those who sought the child's life are dead. And he arose and took the child and his mother and went to the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus was reigning over Judea in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. And being warned in a dream, he withdrew to the district of Galilee, and he went and lived in a city called Nazareth. So what was spoken by the prophets might be fulfilled, that he would be called a Nazarene. Right, so there's Matthew 2, and we're going to jump up to Luke 2 and finish. I think, see, I put a mark right there. I return to Nazareth. Okay. Now, there's 4 Gospels and 4 accounts of the story, so we'll be reading different accounts of it over and over again. So, right. They returned to Nazareth, and when they had performed everything according to the law of the Lord, they returned to Galilee, to their own town of Nazareth. And the child grew and became strong, filled with wisdom, and the favor of God was upon him. Right. The boy Jesus in the temple. Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up according to custom. And when the feast was ended, and as they were returning, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem. His parents did not know it. Okay. Now you got to remember, there was lots of families. There was probably 150 kids or so all together, hanging out, being a family, having fun, right? Having a holiday. And they just figured he was, in the group somewhere, right? They didn't just ignore and, we're going to ignore Jesus. Okay. All right. When the feast is ended, and they were returning, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem. His parents did not know it, but supposing him to be in the group, they went a day's journey, and when they began to search for him among their relatives and acquaintances, and when they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem searching for him. After 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. And when his parents saw him, they were astonished. And his mother said to him, Son, why have you treated us so? Behold, your father and I have been searching for you in great distress. And he said to them, Why were you looking for me? Did you not know that I must be in my father's house? He knew all along, didn't he? Right? About my father's business is another translation. And they did not understand the saying that he spoke to them. And he went down with them and came to Nazareth and was submissive to them. And his mother treasured up all these things in her heart, right? Because she knew too, right? And Jesus increased in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and man. Okay, growing up. So they've gone to Egypt and they've come back, right? Gone to Egypt. They've come back from Egypt. Wait, what are you doing? Oh, it's over here. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to put a note here to Egypt and back. J. Growing up. Okay. And we will mark that with a big X. Right. Okay, let's guess we got to go up here to format this, huh? Okay, let's wrap the text. Let's do that. There you go. Wrap the text and everything's cool. So there's our notes today. It's day 3. Cool, huh? This is a good part of the story, okay, where everything is Jesus was growing up and, right? Gave his parents a good scare, right? In Jerusalem, big city. So, right, yeah, day 4. So, catch up on any you may have missed. There's only a few to catch up on, right, at this early part of the game. Right? We'll continue tomorrow. We'll be doing Matthew 3 and Mark 1 and Luke 3. There's 3 chapters to read tomorrow. So, but we're going to get it done. So, give us a like if you think about it. And we'll see you again tomorrow.